This is the heaviest tee made by Wonder Looper. This is a one-of-a-kind tee made by ultra-rare loop wheel machines from Merz B Schwanen. And this is the softest tee ever made by Sunspel. What do these tees have in common? They are all over $100. In this video, I'm going to be rating each tee based on its fabric, its fit, its workmanship, and overall value. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tally up all scores, and we're going to find out which is the best $100 tee. Let's start off with the lowest priced tee. This brand has been making tees for over 150 years in their own factories in England. Most noticeably worn by James Bond in Casino Royale.
The fabric is insanely soft because it's made from 100% Pima cotton. Sunspel uses a two-fold fabric which is made from twisting two single strands of cotton together.
This creates a softer and more durable fabric, which is why Pima tees from fast fashion brands like Uniqlo will feel a lot different from luxury brands like Sunspel.
The tee is extremely lightweight, weighing in at only 100 grams. This is the lightest tee featured in this video. The fabric is also very thin, measuring to only 0.78 millimeters. If you hold it up against a light, you can see right through it, and wearing this tee, you can easily see my nips.
This will make a great undershirt because of how soft the fabric is, but because of how thin it is, I can't wear this as a standalone piece.
I will rate the fabric a 7 out of 10.
For the workmanship, everything's made in-house in England. Sunspel's making their tees here for over 150 years.
Flipping this tee inside out, I noticed one huge flaw that is similar to the $30 True Classic tee, and that is the crooked chain stitch at the body. This tee shouldn't have passed QC, especially for a luxury brand like Sunspel.
If I'm paying $95 for a paper thin tee, the construction has to be at least near perfect. Another complaint I have is I wish Sunspel used extra fabric to line the neckline and shoulder seams for a more clean finish. I don't like it when the shoulder seams flop back and forth like this. It causes creases and it's not comfortable.
Other than that, the hem, sleeves, and neckline uses a chain stitch and finished off with a top stitch for a clean finish.
I'll rate the workmanship a 6 out of 10.
Sunspel is the slimmest fitting tee featured in this video. Even though this tee is tight, the fabric is extremely soft and has a little stretch so it doesn't feel uncomfortable. With a 17-inch chest and 16-inch shoulder width, this tee will accentuate your body shape. The 7.5-inch sleeve length falls just above the triceps, and the 26-inch length covers half my butt and crotch. For the fit, I'll rate Sunspel a 7 out of 10.
Because of the thin fabric and flaw in stitching, I don't think this tee is worth anywhere near $95. So for the value, I'll rate it a 3 out of 10.
That will give Sunspel a total score of 23 out of 40.
Which is thicker, this hoodie or this tee from Wonder Looper? If you chose the hoodie, you're wrong. This tee is made in Japan using 100% cotton with a staggering 409 GSM weight. Let me show you how heavyweight this tee is. This tee is literally standing up on its own.
The size medium weighs in at 380 grams and the thickness measures to 1.39 millimeters, which is the thickest tee featured in this video.
This tee is made from circular knit machines as opposed to century-old loop wheel machines. This means the texture is denser and has a more uniform texture compared to the slubbiness of loop wheel tees. The texture isn't silky smooth, it has a little bit of roughness to it. I'm a huge fan of the silhouette of this tee.
Because of the heavyweight fabric, it has a straight and even drape on the body. The fabric also doesn't cling. I'll rate the fabric a perfect score of 10 out of 10.
This tee is made from circular knit machines, which is similar to loop wheel machines, but it's more modern, it's faster, and more efficient. On the sides, it has a flat seam construction made by a 4-needle flat seamer. This basically takes the fabric and presses it together to make it flat as possible, which adds to the comfort. You don't want a conventional overlock stitch or else the sides will be very bulky.
It uses a binder collar construction where the body of the fabric is sandwiched between the ribbed fabric of the collar, so that creates a raised 3D look.
It also maintains its shape longer so you don't get that wavy neckline. Flipping this tee inside out, every seam and stitching in this tee is done beautifully. I did notice an overly long thread at the sleeve that they could have trimmed, but other than that, everything is even and straight. I'll rate the workmanship a 9 out of 10.
This is how Wonder Looper's double heavyweight tee fits. One of my favorite things about this tee is that it's made with pre-shrunk fabric, so you don't have to worry about this tee becoming too tight on you. Because of the heavyweight 409 GSM, it has a beautiful straight silhouette throughout the body. It has a 20-inch chest opening and an 18-inch shoulder opening that makes this tee a relaxed fit but not oversized. The 8.25-inch sleeve length covers past my triceps, and the 27-inch length covers most of my butt and crotch. For the fit, I'll rate Wonder Looper an 8 out of 10.
$114 is a lot of money, but I don't know where else you can get a tee over 400 GSM for under $100. This tee is constructed well, made and shipped straight from Japan, and made from 100% pre-shrunk cotton. So I have to rate the value an 8 out of 10. That will give Wonder Looper a total score of 35 out of 40. Is this a t-shirt or body armor? Merz B Schwanen 2S14 is one of the heaviest and thickest t-shirt ever made. This is the most expensive tee featured in this video.
This is made from 100% organic cotton with 380 GSM weight. The thickness measures to 1.5 millimeters. It uses 2-thread fabric using century-old loop wheel machines. Because of the loop wheel construction, the texture is semi-rough and it has a horizontal slubby look. It also makes these tees more durable, hold its shape better, and it doesn't stretch out.
One thing that I'm not a big fan of is that the fabric is not pre-shrunk. So expect this shirt to shrink at least 1.5 inches after the first wash. So you definitely have to go at least one size up. For the fabric, I'll give it a 9. Now let's take a look at the workmanship. The loop wheel construction on this tee is extremely rare. There's only 2 countries in the world that has loop wheel machines, one in Japan and the other in Germany.
Loop wheel dates back to the 1920s and is a very special way of knitting cotton yarns in a loop wheel machine.
No manufacturer does this anymore because it's time consuming, it's inefficient, and it's very expensive. But this loop wheel process gives each tee its own individual characteristics. Something that I haven't seen from any other brands is the triangle gussets at the armpits.
This extra fabric will give you more flexibility and comfort.
140 euros is the most expensive tee I've ever owned. With that price, I expect nothing but perfection. And when it comes to the construction of this tee, I get just that.
Every seam and stitch is excellent with no noticeable flaws.
But if I had to be nitpicky, there's a couple of things that I wish this tee did differently.
First, I wish they used pre-shrunk fabric. Instead, expect this shirt to shrink at least 1.5 inches after the first wash, so you definitely have to go up one size.
And second, I wish this tee had reinforced tape-like fabric to give that neckline and shoulder seams a more clean and finished look. Other than that, this tee is constructed flawlessly. Now time to give this tee a rating. For the workmanship, I'll rate it a perfect score of 10.
The fit in the 2S14 is boxy but will look more slim after the first wash due to fabric shrinkage. Before shrinkage, it has an already slim 16-inch shoulder and 19-inch chest, which is smaller than your average size medium. Because of the heavyweight 380 GSM, it has a beautiful straight silhouette throughout the body. The 9.25-inch sleeve length and 20-inch body length takes account for the fabric shrinkage, so it offers an extra inch in length. For the fit, I'll rate Merz B Schwanen a 7 out of 10.
For $150, that's one of the most expensive tees on the market. But you're paying a premium for that rare loop wheel construction and that heavyweight 380 GSM fabric weight. I'll rate the value an 8 out of 10. That gives Merz B Schwanen a total score of 34 out of 40. Tallying up the final scores, the winner of the $100 t-shirt showdown is Wonder Looper's double heavyweight tee with the final score of 35 out of 40. What put this over the edge is the insane 409 GSM weight plus using pre-shrunk fabric. In close second with a final score of 34 over 40 is Merz B Schwanen's 2S14. The rare loop wheel construction makes the 2S14 one of a kind and the best constructed tee in this video. Here are the final scores of each tee. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the scores. If you want to see more t-shirt videos, click right here or here and I'll see you there.